So, this is episode 2 of No Pedestal Needed, and we're here with Ashley. She has an amazing story. She's a mom, she's in her 30s, and she has walked through it. So, I'm really excited for you guys to hear her story. She's got the kind of hope in her story that we all need. So, let's just get right into it. Okay, can you tell us a little bit about where life has brought you recently and what that looks like for you right now?
Okay. So I feel like God has really brought me to more of a peaceful type place to whereas up until about 7 months ago, I felt like there was a lot of chaos going up here and I didn't take accountability for that. So I think right now my life is just getting to a point to where like I'm at peace with everything. I handle things a lot better than I did before. As far as like my mindset, I'm more at like I'm healing, but I've healed a lot the last 7 months. Like I look back at who I was like even 7 months ago, and I'm like, oh God, who was she? Who
It's
was she?
embarrassing.
It is. It really is. And then like you can't undo everything that you've done or how
Yeah.
you handled situations when you're dealing with trauma that you didn't even realize you had. So I have found myself more at peace lately and just a restful heart would probably be the best way to
I
put it.
love that.
Yeah, I just feel like my heart is just at rest now and it's not at battle with my head anymore.
Mm.
So now, yeah, so we're at like even ground is where best way to explain it, I
Is
guess.
that like hard for you to live in that like middle even ground because like chaos is familiar and like I'm listening to you and I'm thinking like I'm in a similar spot and I catch myself on days like where it's like we're not way
Oh,
up here happy but we're also not way down here like depressed
yeah,
or anxious like we're
yes.
somewhere in the middle and that's becoming normal.
It is. And that's funny you say that because that was one of the things that like when I started therapy a few months ago, I was literally going to my therapist like twice a week the first year. Because I
Mine
was like,
was
girl,
too.
we have got a lot to unpack here. Like, let's go.
Yes.
And so one of the things that I realized is that like I felt like if my life or my head was not chaotic, then it was just not normal. And so like I was creating these like in my head, like I had to make everything chaotic because I was like, if it's not chaotic, then like something's going to happen. So it was just like self-sabotager was basically,
Yeah.
yes, was basically where I was at, constantly battling with myself. I'm like, okay, Ashley, like, things are going smooth, things are calm, but the shoe's going to drop. So let's go ahead and stir some stuff up. But like, let's go.
Yeah. And it was like unconsciously. Like I would
Yeah.
self-sabotage and find myself like sitting in the ruins before I even realized what I did.
Yes. And then you're sitting there and like, you're like, what do I do with my hands? Because you realize what you've just done and how you
Yes.
reacted to something or how you handled something. And then you can't undo it. And then like it's just sitting there and you're looking at this mess and you try to piece it back together and you try to learn from it. But then like again, when you are literally at battle with yourself, at war with yourself, that's all you know. And
Yeah.
so you move on, like, okay, I've learned from that situation, let's go to the next. And then when it happens again, you're like, in the moment, you just don't even think back on like, well, that just happened. That was the result of this. Let's do it again. And it was a mess. It
It
was
is.
a,
It's like a cycle because you don't
it
know it
is.
happened. So then it
Yeah.
happens again and you're like, no, I swore this time was going to be different. And
Yep.
it's not. I mean,
Nope. Because in the moment, you think that like how you feel, and I'm not saying that your feelings are invalid because everybody's
sure.
feelings are invalid. They come from somewhere. But when you are dealing with inside issues and you just in the moment you're like, no, this is how I feel, so that means it's right, and like I'm going to handle it the way I need to handle it. And then you're like afterwards you're just like you're like almost embarrassed, but then you have to stand your ground. You're like, no, I meant that. Like this is yeah. So
Yeah. You're like, let me
yeah.
just get back in that hole I just came from because, oh, yes, awful. Well, I love that for you. It definitely
Yeah.
shows, like, even just in like your posts. I know we've done a good job of keeping up online, but like,
Yeah.
it's nice to see you face to face and like hear this
Mhm.
part of it too because it
Yeah.
definitely comes through.
Yes, well, I love hearing that because it's been a long journey. Well, it hasn't been long. It's so crazy because me and my therapist talk about it. How like people are like, oh, healing is a constant thing, and it is. It's
Sure.
a daily battle. She looked at me and she was like, you are definitely not the same person you were 7 months ago when you walked through this door. And she was like, your skin looks better. She was like, she's like, your eyes look better. And she was like, you are just over. She was like, I like thumbs up. And I was like, that just means a lot coming from a therapist, because I can look in the mirror all day long and be like, oh, you feel so much better. But hearing that from somebody who's literally helped me on my journey
Yeah.
last 5 months. I don't know. Am I saying 7 months? I think it's only been like 5. Yeah, since March, the end of March. So
That's like so far to come in a
yeah.
really short amount of time when you think about like the mountains you've climbed in that amount of time.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it has to do with, and I will die on this hill, is taking accountability. Because like when I
Mm.
was going through the traumas or the negativity, of like my mindset. I forgot where I was going with this.
It's like the accountability, like wanting
Oh
to like
yes,
set up that defense. Like if someone
yes,
comes to you and like challenges how you handled it or you hurt
yes,
their feelings, like I'm embarrassed to say, like I've hurt people's feelings and they've told me
mhm,
that, and I will defend my
yes.
actions against
With
their feelings.
excuses. Yeah. You're like, I'm sorry, but this is
Oh,
why I did. And yes. And that's the worst thing to do because you literally just cancel out your apology. Like, now, generally meant sorry, but like, I need you to hear my. And then that's not always necessary in a situation. Just apologize, take accountability for what you did, what you said, how you
I
feel.
have goosebumps. Like
Yeah.
I asked my therapist like 2 weeks ago when I was with her, I was like, are there people that are walking around living like this, functioning like this? Like this is normal. This has been normal for them from the beginning. She was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like what?
Hmm.
The rest
Yeah.
of us are just out here spinning in complete chaos.
Yes. And it's so crazy because, like, to look at me, you probably would have been like, oh, she's like so happy. And I
Right.
was genuinely happy. But inside, I was like you said, like, I was just waiting for the shoe to drop. Like,
Yeah.
if things weren't like this in my head, then it was scary and constantly just like, well, if I go ahead and stir the pot, then I'm mentally prepared for it, you know? And so it's been a
Yep.
long road. So,
Yeah.
but
Oh, I love that. Okay,
yes,
well, speaking of the long road, do you feel like there is one specific moment where you were like, oh, I'm not living like this anymore. Something has to change?
yes.
Okay.
Probably going to get a little deep here.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna like touch the surface.
Okay.
My last relationship came to an end probably in March, and a lot. Wow, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Don't be sorry.
I just so like it going back to like the accountability thing. I just like realized like the damage that I had caused. Like we were both two imperfect people, you know, and so but point and blame and all that stuff just got so old. And then like of
Mhm.
course when it ended, it was more of like a like you've got to get shit together because this is just going to be a cycle. And like that was probably my wake up call because I have to heal for myself, not only for like me, but for my daughter. And she is my why in everything that I do. And it was just like, it literally ends with me. I'm the only
Right.
person that can control how this ends. So it was like, at that point, it was either like, you crap or get off the pot. And so I just realized that like a lot of the trauma I was carrying around was like affecting everybody around me. And if that's affecting my daughter and then like future relationships, then like I had no choice. That's the first time I told my therapist, like when I met her, I told her, I was like, I have a lot to unpack. I realized that like not everything is my fault. Like in my marriage and my relationship, like it's not all my fault, but I need to like own up to my traumas and my feelings and my mindset in order to move past this. And so that was my wake up call. It was back in the end of March when the guy I had been seeing for almost, it would have been 3 years at the end of this year, it came to an end. And so that was kind of like, you know, my wake up call.
Yeah.
Just knowing that I have to heal for not only myself or my future self, but for my daughter as well, because it affects her in the long run. So,
Yeah. I think that's like the biggest bust a heart wide open thing is our kids. Like, I
yes.
didn't see any kind of healthy relationship growing up. So, like, I am coming out of, I'm trying to break that cycle we were just talking about of the accountability and not taking it. But
Mm-hmm.
that's so hard. And when I look at my kids and I think divorce like runs
Oh,
rampant in
yeah.
both of our families, like
Yeah.
and multiple divorces. Like it's
Yes.
wild.
And I only want one on my resume. Like I ain't trying this again. Either I'll be a nun or
Do
like,
not hand out medals here. I know. And it's like you just want them to see healthy.
yes.
And I was so focused on, oh, I want them to see a healthy relationship. Like we love each other, but
Oh God.
that does no good when you don't love yourself. I was lying to myself. I did not
Yeah.
love myself. Wanting to heal for you
Yeah.
will trickle down to them.
Yes, because I grew up with a single mom of four.
Oh my
And
gosh.
yeah, yeah. And so that was really hard. And then, of course, when I was married and I had Charlie Ray, um, whether I was checked out of the marriage or not, way before the divorce, it was just like, no, like I grew up with a single mom. I'm not about to do that to my daughter. But then it came to that decision where it was like, okay, but do I want her to see this as an example of a marriage?
Right?
Not, you know, like she needs it. I wasn't perfect. I was far from perfect, especially like towards the end where I was just like checked out. She doesn't need to see this as a wife and she don't need to see that as a husband. And I truly genuinely believe that like at the end of the day, if you've exhausted all your options in a marriage and like your kids need happy parents, not married parents.
Exactly.
And so that's what really came to that decision was just like she was two. So it's like we do it now. She's young. She'll grow up with this being her norm. I just heard friends say that like, well, I wish my parents would have divorced younger because they did it when I was in college and it affected me more. And
Yeah.
thinking my parents stayed together just for me, like that kills me that they were so unhappy for so long. And I didn't want to do that to Charlie Ray. It was, yeah, that part, because I just really wanted to show her like what a strong woman is versus, just being with a man just because.
Just because.
And that's not me at all.
No. And no. Oh my gosh. No, it's not. You could know you for 2 seconds and know that that
Yeah,
is
like
not you.
I ain't dealing with it. So it was a very hard decision because we were together for so long. But again, she is my wife for everything, and that's all I could think about was just I do not want her to like cycle into like what we had going on. So
Yeah, like this is what you do. This is how women,
yes,
get treated, or this is how women act. This is what we put up with.
and you can only use your traumas and like your
Ugh,
insecurities and all that as an excuse for so long.
it's
Like
so true. They catch up with you.
they do, and it's miserable. So just take accountability, own up to it, and just move on. Like
Yeah.
you know.
What do you think is the thing that you lost like most about yourself? And is there a way that you have found to like get that back? Do you even want that back?
So I think I lost a lot of myself in just trying to be somebody I'm not, because I was so convinced that like I was okay and I was happy that like I literally just was walking around kind of like an empty shell. So I feel like I lost my spark, I lost my personality, and like I just became this shell of a person. And so I don't want that version of me back, and I'll never see her again.
Amen.
I bury her with much respect, but
Right.
like no. So I would not. And I'll honestly say, on top of therapy, and then I got myself into church, which I've
Yeah.
always been a huge like believer and like a Christian, and I'm saved, and I accepted Jesus into my heart, but I wasn't living the way one should. And so 4 months ago, when I started therapy, I decided I was like doing church, like they were parallel together. Like
Yeah.
so, I did that, and now I feel like between those two has completely transformed who I am today. So the version of me that I lost was somebody who walked the walk but didn't really talk the talk, if you know what I mean. And
Yeah.
so
Oh, I do.
yeah, and I appreciate her because without that version of me, I wouldn't be who I am today, of course. And so I look forward to like this version of me in like 5 years. Like,
Yeah.
so as we like peel back the shells of ourselves, yeah. So that's probably the main thing I'd say I lost is just like my spark and my personality. I'm just trying so hard to like be
Isn't
happy
that
and
like
like,
the weirdest thing? Like you're trying to have a huge spark that
because
you once had, but you're like doing the opposite. You're putting your spark out further.
it's so mentally exhausting.
Oh, yeah.
I used to like explain to a friend of mine that like I was always on high alert. Like I was always like in defense mode. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like I was ready
Always
to like throw
ready.
yeah, like what you like always like what and so
And
that's
for
probably
what? Like for no like nobody was like doing anything to
nope.
me. I didn't really have a reason other than my own like baggage.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was ready to like throw down at any given moment over nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Yes. Yep. And it was like one of those things where you kind of hold yourself victim to
Oh
like
yeah.
your
That's
trauma.
a nasty place to be.
Yes. Of course, in the moment, I was like, I'm not playing victim. This is just who I am, And like, it's so funny, and like, I laugh about it now. But literally, I would just like lean on that as an excuse to
Yeah.
like do what I. Again, I'm not invalidating feelings. Like in that moment, I
Yeah.
felt
Yeah.
like that should have been handled differently, of course. But I truly, genuinely believe that like you lean into that a little bit more. Like, well, I have trauma, so this is just who I am, instead of just like dealing with it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So that just goes
I
back to the
think
accountability thing.
a lot of that comes from like that's sort of the way like society has led us down this road
Yeah.
of like you have trauma and it's okay that you are
Yeah.
this way. I mean, maybe for a period of time,
Yeah.
but I mean, you can't carry it around with you for forever. You have to
Yeah.
grow up and you have to look at it,
Yes.
deal with it,
That part.
untack
Yeah.
it. Like, yes, that's the accountability part, but it's like they just have you believing like,
Yeah.
oh, everyone's got trauma and they're putting fancy labels on it and they're making
Yes.
cute reels out of it and it's not cute.
Yes.
None of it is
No.
cute.
There's nothing cute about mental health. And I
No.
truly believe that when you're dealing with trauma and stuff, that is a form of like mental health, of course, because it's
Yeah.
affecting every aspect of your life. I
Yes.
have been on and off anxiety medicines for years because I try to deal with it on my own. And then there's a taboo about anxiety medicines and that you should be dealing with it on your own.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I just believe that society has played a huge part into people just not wanting to take accountability and just like going to therapy. There's nothing wrong with therapy. Everybody I have ever met my entire life needs therapy. Like at some point, you need
Right?
to speak. Like there's nothing wrong with it. You can't be 35 years old saying like, this is who I am, take me or leave like that. I don't believe in that. Like,
I think
yeah.
that's so ugly.
Yeah.
I did
I
used to
used to
think
too.
that way.
Oh yeah. If you don't
Like,
like me for who I am, then bye.
good
And like,
rocks. Yeah.
right.
No, that's so ugly. Like inside, like that it just makes you just an ugly person to be around. I don't know how else to say it.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
good.
No, because you're always, like I said before, you're just on defense and you're just unhappy and misery loves company.
Oh
And
yeah.
it takes everybody down. So it's just like nobody wants to be around you when you're like that. So just heal, go to
Just
therapy.
go deal with it. I literally, when I started therapy, I sat in my first session and I was like, she was like, so, like, why are you here? And I'm
Yeah.
thinking, I don't really know. Like, I thought,
Yeah.
like, compared to what people went to therapy for, that my problems were like
Yeah.
tiny and I didn't need therapy because mine weren't massive. But the more I sat in her office on her couch and like unpacked, the more I realized, like, girl, your problems are way bigger
You
than
got
you
snakes,
realize.
girl. Like you got
Right?
some real snake. Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
get that 1000%. Because you go in thinking like, oh, I'm just here because like I have daddy issues,
Right. I'm a little
you know,
anxious.
yeah. And then she's like asking you questions that like really make you think and dig, and like then she would give me homework, which I think is necessary in therapy.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
and so she'd give me homework, and I'm like, I don't want to turn this in. Like, this is embarrassing.
It is
Like, what are your
embarrassing.
thoughts on this? And I'm just like, oh God, yeah. So it's a hard struggle, but it's worth it for sure.
Oh my gosh, yes, 100%. Okay, what has surprised you the most about becoming this version of yourself?
Oh God, that's a good one. Okay, I think what surprises me the most is how, that saying they say like your mindset basically like sets the tone for like your life, right?
Oh,
So
girl, I
that
love where you're going right now.
yes, I'm an overall positive person. I
Mm-hmm.
lost that for a while. Let's go back to that question. My positivity.
Yeah,
That would probably be a big thing that I lost in the last year or so that I found. But
good.
yes. So what was your question again? I'm sorry.
What? It's okay. What has surprised you the most about becoming this version of yourself?
Oh yeah, about how life really gives you back what you put into it as far as like your mindset, your attitude, your just how you present yourself too. And it's just like I have found that now that I'm not constantly like on self defense or like up here, down here, up here, down here, I'm just kind of like at a constant. Life is so enjoyable. Like to
Right?
be right, which is where before I was just kind of like, I am not having fun here. Like I am struggling, and I still struggle. We all struggle. I still
Yeah.
have days where like I wake up and I'm like, I feel like I've taken 30 steps back. But it's that mindset, like, no, Ashley, life is great. You have absolutely nothing to be scared of. Like God's got you. Life is just so easy. People make life a lot more difficult and negative than it has to be. And so I feel like right now the positivity in my mindset has brought so many blessings, and just waking up every day and just not instant negative thoughts in my head
Oh,
has changed everything.
light. I mean, you feel like you shed
Yes.
like 50 pounds, like you
Literally.
truly had like
Yes.
a weighted vest on and you just like took it off
Yes.
and put it over there and you're like, I'm not picking that back up.
Yes. And it's so weird because, you take that, you go to therapy and you like talk things out with your friends, and like you're healing, you're feeling better, but you literally wake up one day and you're okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even though it didn't
Yeah.
happen overnight, it's just kind of like you just eventually you're okay. Like, you're going to
Yeah.
be okay. Just like stick it out, because there was a little while there where I was like, like therapy's not working. I'm still crying 4 times a day. Like, you know what I mean? And like,
Yes, I do.
yeah, like I don't want to go to work. I just want to lay in bed all day. And like
Yeah.
I had days like that these last few months where like I literally would go a day, would cry 4 times. And it's just
Yeah.
like one day you wake up and you realize like at the end of the day, like, oh, I didn't cry today. Or like, oh, and then like I journal. So at the end of every day I
Oh,
write
yeah.
down, yeah, that has helped so
I
much.
always thought that was so cheesy and like just there's no way that's helpful. And I don't know
Yes.
what I thought. I really didn't think anything good about it,
I'm
honestly.
kidding.
Until
It
I
took me 35
started
years to
it.
do it. So like I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
And it's actually funny because the journal that I started journaling in was a journal that I used back when I was married and
No.
rereading. Yes,
Did you
and
go back and
rereading.
read?
I did. And
Oh.
yeah, it was like January of like 2022, and I was like reading this stuff, and I was like, oh my God, I was literally screaming for help.
Oh,
You know what I mean? And it was just kind
yeah.
of like, yeah, my social media. I think me and you have talked about this. Like back when I would post
Yeah.
my little risque stuff, I literally was like yelling, like that was my call for help. And people didn't see it like that, but now I like look back at things that I would write in my journal and like things I would post, and I was just like, oh God, I needed Jesus, like But it was just
Yeah.
interesting to find my journal. But yes, journaling helps me so much because I write down 5 things that like good happened that day, or like something that I need to work on for tomorrow, And so journaling definitely has made a huge difference in my life as well. So 10/10 recommend.
Oh, yeah. Like, oh, yes. 10 out of 10 for sure. It's like like a foolproof way to like stay on track, because you can write the
Yes.
emotion, like you said, then you
Yes.
can like, what am I keeping in mind for tomorrow, but
Yeah.
also what am I thankful for? Like it's just a really good,
Yeah.
I don't know, like way to track your progress too.
It has also helped me, and as an adult, you probably, and a mom, you probably get this too. It also helps me regulate my emotions to whereas I have struggled that for so long.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I'm a mom and I'm like, how am I supposed to teach this kid how to regulate her emotions
Thank
when
you.
I can't regulate mine? But it
Yeah.
helped me regulate because, like, if something negative happened that day, I'd write down, like, Ashley, well, how did you handle this? And, like, how did you feel in this moment? And just, like, thinking about how I would have reacted to it months ago, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, there's progress there, you know? You just don't
Yeah.
you see the little baby steps, you know?
It's
So,
true. It's like progress pictures, like in the gym. Like if you're
yes,
not taking them, you're like, one day you'll come, you're like, well, I look gross anyways, so let me eat these 12 cookies. But if you would just take a picture and look at yourself 2 months
yeah,
ago, you'd see
right.
that your hard work is paying off. Don't eat those cookies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, it's crazy. So, yeah, journaling is like a little progress picture for your head,
I
basically.
love that. Have you, at any point in unpacking trauma, like when it was fresh,
Yeah.
did you identify with little Ashley at any point? Like for me, I started to realize, well, little Rachel built a version of Rachel that was ugly and embarrassing, but
Yeah.
necessary for survival. And like one night I was in the shower and it was like probably after like 2 months of therapy, I just like lost it. I mean, I felt like I was crying my soul out. It was the
Yeah.
strangest thing. And I felt like I was saying bye to her. And I was like sad because she got me here. Like she's the
Yeah.
reason we survived, but also she can't come with me. And that was so sad to me.
Yes, it is. Because again, going back to like the whole trauma and dad thing, like TMI, my dad left when I was 3. So growing up, I grew up without a dad, you know, and so like I didn't ever ask my mom about him. I was like, because I didn't want to like make her upset thinking that like she was doing
Yeah.
a good job. And I honestly didn't ask about him till like I got married because people were starting to ask me like, well, who's walking you down the aisle?
Oh my
And I
gosh.
was kind of like, yeah. And I, you know, talking about traumatizing. And I was just
That's
kind of
so
like,
long to not ask a question.
yes. And it was only because like in my head I was like, I don't need him. Like he, you know,
Mm.
and it was again building those walls, you know, like I don't need him. I don't need a man, you know, kind of thing. And so like I mean, I do not mean that by any means. We all need men.
I know.
But like that's just how I was. And so like I would make jokes about it in high school. Like my friends would be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go get a Father's Day card. I'm like, yeah, me too. I just laughed through the trauma, which is not healthy. But I felt abandoned by my dad. And then in my marriage, I felt like towards the end, my husband, not mashing him, but like he quit showing up for me. So in my eyes, yes, I left the marriage, but I felt like he left before. There's another one. And so in my last relationship, a lot of that came out to where like I just had abandonment issues and it was constant battle in my head of like I'm gonna be abandoned, I'm not good enough. And the 3-year-old version of me wasn't good enough for my dad. Like who's to say this 34, you know, and it was constant battle and it's so
Mhm.
exhausting to not think you're worth love and like not worth, you know.
That is like the absolute worst thing I really
Yeah.
think that a person could deal with is feeling unworthy
Uh,
of love or of life.
hmm And I got to a point to where it was just like, what is the point here? Besides like Charlie Ray, there were days in the last like 5 months where I was just like the therapy and all that stuff was working. Like I would literally be like, if it wasn't for Charlie Ray, like I didn't want to be here. Like I'm like, I am not having fun here, you know? And so
Yeah.
because you just feel so unworthy when people leave, you know,
Yeah.
and then you get in this mindset of like people leave, you know, and so that's kind of where I was. I'm getting better with that. Like I realize that I am worthy of love and I am a great
Yeah,
person.
you are.
Yeah, and I know what I bring to the table, but it was so hard working through that part. Like you're asking about, like
Yeah.
that little girl that version of just like, why do people leave us? And like you're not worthy. Like, and then you're like, well, you'll find somebody that's going to love you for all your traumas and stuff. And I do believe that you do find that. It's just it's hard to like find somebody to accept it, but then at the same time, you can't use them as a punching bag because of it.
Right. It's like
You know
you
what I
have to
mean?
heal through it and then you find someone who they do love you and your trauma, but you have
Yes.
already dealt with it. So they are
Yes.
not your punching bag. So of course they can
Right.
love you through it, like they can
Exactly.
be there for
Yes.
you. But it's also hard to even let someone be there when
Yeah.
you weren't you were not only abandoned by other people, but when you abandon yourself without even
Yes.
realizing it, it's like, what? How? I mean, and then the battle between like feeling unworthy, but then being like, I know what I bring to the table. Like, how
Yes.
can both of those be true at the same time? That's
Yes.
that inner dialogue.
It is, yeah. And a lot of that is just praying that the person, other people see in you what you want to see in yourself. But that's not how it works. Like you've got to genuinely, right. You genuinely have to believe that about yourself in order for other people to love you and respect you. And if you don't love and respect yourself, then you can't expect that out of anybody else. And so
No.
yeah, and you kind of lose yourself in that. So that was definitely the hardest part, was just letting go of that abandonment issue of that little girl inside of you just saying like, well, your dad left, so like my little inner me was mean. Like she wasn't, I don't necessarily think I was sad to let her go, because she constantly told me like, well, your dad left you when you were 3, so like what's wrong with you, and then
Yeah.
your husband quit on you, what's wrong with you, like. And that was my war with myself all the time, like, oh well, yeah, things are going great, but guess what, people leave. And I would literally tell myself that every single day. And I'm an energy person, like even with friends and stuff, like I'm energy. If your energy's off, I'm like, are you
Oh,
leaving me? Like, what's wrong? What did I do?
yes. Or you leave a conversation, you're like, I'm too much. I sounded so stupid. I
Yep.
shouldn't have said X, Y, and Z. Like, they're
Yep.
never going to call again. They definitely don't hang out with someone like me.
Exactly. Yes. Yep.
And
So,
also because we don't have the TMI filter that a lot of people have. And that is way too much for so
yep.
many people. And I respect that. Like, I don't ever want to, like, pour myself and my word vomit all over people that don't want
Right.
it. But also,
The
like,
people you
yes,
care about.
yes, but you do pick up on that. You're like, oh, they're not into sharing like I am.
And not
Yes.
everybody's like that. Like I have friends that I've learned, my friends were like, I cut the filter on with some of my friends. You kind of learn and read the room. And so, but yeah.
Yes. And then the words that come out sometimes don't match like what
Yes.
was in here or what was in your heart. And it's like,
Yeah.
how is that even possible that those people are now like offended or upset or whatever
Yes.
when I had nothing but love in my heart? Like, how,
Right.
where is that disconnect between my brain and my heart
Yes.
and the words that come out of my mouth?
Exactly. So that's one thing that I have ultimately been working on, is how I said, like thinking, like pausing, even when I'm angry,
Mm,
even when it comes down to like Charlie Ray, I just stop and I think before I speak. And I used to just react like on the spot, like thinking out of emotions instead of like being rational with them,
yeah.
was probably one of my hugest red flags. I am not afraid to admit that. I would just instantly be like, make up a scenario in my head, and I'm already mad at that scenario, thinking it's real, and it's,
And then that anger is like controlling the entire rest of the way you move for
yep.
that day or that week. And
Yep.
it's like that thing didn't even happen.
You're convinced it happened, and then it's kind of like when you have those dreams where you like wake up that like somebody cheated on you, and
Oh
you woke
God,
up and
yes.
you're like mad at them because you're like, cheated on me in your dream last night. That's kind of like how that is, literally. Like it is. It's like you make up the scenario in your head and you're just already so angry about it that you just don't even care how you deliver it because they're already guilty or whatever,
Yeah.
like. And so it's hard to like, it's been really, that's been my number one thing that I've honestly worked on, is just stopping and thinking and being like, okay, Ashley, is what you're thinking true? Did somebody tell you this? Do you have receipts? Do you like, like, is this
Yeah.
legitimate? And then it kind of calms you down. You're just like, okay, you're being psycho. Like, put that away.
It's hard to rein that in when you're such a like I don't know. I always refer to it as like a feeler. I don't know what else to
Yep.
say, but like you have those big feelings and big emotions. It could be something simple. You could give me a birthday cake and I'm going to be so freaking
Yep.
excited.
Yep.
Just as that emotion is going to be just as big as if you come to me and tell me like my grandma died,
Yes.
like not to make light of
Yes.
anyone passing, but I mean
Exactly.
like truly to me, I feel just as big on both ends.
Yes. Same. Yeah. And I have a huge heart.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody who's ever met me knows that. Like I have a huge heart, and so like I love so big that like it can be kind of overwhelming. You get to a point to where it's like, you just looked at me wrong. Are you mad at me? Nobody wants nobody
Nobody
wants
wants
that,
that.
because then people walk on glass around you. So that's something that like you got to find a happy balance with it, and it's a struggle.
Okay, so man, I texted this question. I have a group chat with like my aunts and my mom and cousins, and I asked
Yeah.
them this question the other day because a lot of what I'm healing from came from them. I think that they want to heal. I just think that
Yep.
like that generation didn't really know it was acceptable to seek help. So I texted them this. And what is something that you believed about womanhood or motherhood that you no longer believe? It's like you grew up with that belief.
Man, oh God, that is such a good question, Rachel. Yeah. So off the bat, just when you say that, the first thing that comes to my mind is thinking that like you've got to be perfect. Watch my mom grow up. raising us four, by herself. Like she put on so I was just like, oh God, like you have got to be perfect in order to be like a mom, a working mom. And when I had Charlie Ray, I was so scared that I was going to be like, not be what she deserved. Like she is the most, yeah, like you look at this little human, you're like, I've
Yeah.
got to be so perfect because they are so perfect. But one thing that I've learned is that like, you don't have to be perfect. God literally chose you to be their mother. And despite every day when I go to bed, like me and Charlie Ray can have a great day, but I'm going to find something that day I'm like, oh, you could have done this better, Ashley, or you could have said this better. But at the end of the day, she loves me more than this entire universe. And in her eyes, I'm perfect. Just like my mom was growing up. Like, my mom, yeah, my mom went through heck and back. But to me, she was a warrior. Like
Yeah.
she didn't let nothing get her down. I'm like, that she's perfect. Remind myself that like you don't have to be perfect. 'Cause at the end of the day, she looks at me as if I'm like the best thing in the world, and she does not hesitate to tell me every night. We do a little thing called "What was your thorn and what was your rose for the day?"
Tell
Yeah,
me more. I might need to adopt this.
yeah. Oh, it's the cutest thing ever. So I actually got it from a friend of mine who does it with her boyfriend and his kids, and I was just like, it just struck me, and I was like, that is the sweetest thing ever. So like basically, when we get in bed, after we say our prayers, I'm like, Charlie Ray, what was your thorn for today? And a thorn is like your least favorite part of the day, or something that like you wish didn't happen. And then of course your rose is your favorite part of the day. Like, yeah.
My
And
gosh.
so every day, normally 90% of the time, Charlie Ray's rose is, I just got to spend time with you, mommy. Or like, when you played with me,
Stop.
mommy. Oh yeah, and it would be like little things. Like she'd be like, "Oh, when we sang in the car today, mommy," and like I'm probably gonna get emotional, but like again, but yeah, and so like that just teaches me that like she literally thinks I'm perfect, and I don't want her to grow up thinking that like I'm perfect. So like I tell her all the time, like, "Mommy shouldn't have done that. Mommy's not perfect. Mommy is human. Sometimes we yell and say things.
Right.
So I let her know it's okay not to be perfect." But like God thinks I'm perfect for her, and so that's
Exactly.
all that matters to me. And so at the end of the day, that's just what I remind myself when I'm having those hard days, is that like God made me her mom for a reason. And so like me doubting myself because I gave her a peanut butter and jelly sandwich instead of organic something, like, you know what I mean, like she still thinks I'm the best mommy in the world.
Yes.
And so that's probably the biggest thing that I would say that I thought growing up, that I realized real quick that's not true.
I think a lot of people have that illusion, but
Mm-hmm.
how much worse is it with all the junk that we take in on our screens all the time? If like hair and makeup is your thing, cool. Or if like being dressed to the nine is your thing, cool. But you don't have to be. And I think that's like the biggest thing I wish women would grasp is it's okay if you thoroughly enjoy those things, but it is
Yes.
also okay
If you're
not
doing
to.
it for the right reasons.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Like where's your intention in it?
Because I have caught myself like, I've gotten more back into social media in the last like month or two, just like posting a little bit more of my fitness journey because
Yeah.
I'm trying to get back in the first form, making more money with that, and like, my
I
coaching.
love that. You kill it with that.
I try. And so like I've been trying to like do that because as a single mom, I'm like extra income. I'll do what I
Yeah.
can. And so of course social media is so like it's at your fingers. And so it
Yes.
makes it so easy. But I've learned too that like when I'm scrolling and I'm watching these girls or women on, and I am a woman's woman, like, but sometimes I wonder like, why are these women posting the stuff that they
Yeah.
do? Like, you know what I mean? Because I know when I post something, I'm not doing it for attention. I used to. Like, I'll be the first to admit, like, back in the day,
Sure.
I needed that validation for some reason.
Yep.
And well, I mean, I know why, but now like, I literally post just to kind of like get engagement or like motivate somebody with a quote or like
Yeah.
just be my goofy self. And so like, it just makes me wonder, like when I scroll, I'm just like, it almost makes you feel sad for some people because it makes you feel inadequate almost. It's like what you were just saying, like when women scroll and they see these women with like abs and big boobs and a big butt and lips, you think you have to look like that to be relevant, and you don't. Yes.
Okay, I just have one more serious question, then we'll just top it off with something light. What would you say to the woman who feels stuck where you used to be?
Don't give up on yourself.
Woo!
Keep doing. Yes. And I think I made a post about this actually. Was at a place, like I said before, that like I thought I had no hope. I was like, I am just gonna be like this the rest of my life. Just keep going. Pray. Pray, 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 pray. Like, you think God's gonna get tired of talking to you? Who cares?
Never.
He doesn't, right. Like, he ain't, but like, pray and just keep going. Don't focus on like, this is a cheesy quote, but I live by it. Don't focus on the whole stairway. Focus on this step in front of you. And that is literally what I've repeated to myself every day, and I still do. Just keep going. Literally, don't give up on yourself. There is light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes.
It may be Be a long tunnel, and you may think there's fire at the end of that tunnel, but it is not. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. You just have to literally trust in God, trust in yourself, and go to therapy. Like, don't be ashamed. Like, just go get put on medicines if you feel like you need medicine. Just go, but just keep going.
Yeah.
Keep.
It's so powerful. The keeping going is like
Yes.
so powerful because when you keep putting that one foot in front of the other, even on the darkest days, the
Yes.
hardest days, when you can wake up the next day, God woke you up the next day. That's a
Yep.
gift. He woke you up and he's showing you, you did it yesterday.
Yes. And
Just
I'm
do it
not
one
done
more
with you.
time. And then, like you said earlier, eventually you wake up and you're like,
Yeah.
I think I'm okay, or I might be
Yeah.
okay someday. Because there was a
Literally.
point in therapy for me where it was like, no, this is horrible. I don't want to be
Yeah.
here. And then it was like, I might be okay, but I couldn't
Yep.
fully see it. And
Yeah.
then it was like, okay.
Yeah. It's kind of like you said earlier, like you kind of like shed those layers and you're getting lighter and lighter. And then one day you just wake up and you're just like, and at the end of the day, you're just kind of like, oh my gosh, like
Doing it.
I'm doing it. I want to do it again tomorrow, and like
It's empowering.
it really is. It really is. When you realize that like your mindset literally sets the tone for everything. And again, I'm not trying to like rub this in people's faces, but like work on your relationship with God before you work on your
Yes.
relationship with anybody. Because I can tell you this, like you can say you're a Christian and all this stuff, but like if you're not following through with it, you're just living a fake life. You know what I mean? And I know that
Yeah.
sounds cheesy, but like you just pray and keep going and just know that he has a plan for you that you might not understand. And another thing that got me through a lot of this stuff is knowing that like where I was like 3 or 4 years ago, look where I'm at now. Like, yes, I've been through a lot of crap between then and now, but like I'm such a better person now than I was 5 months ago, a year ago. So I keep telling myself in another year, I'm gonna look back at this version of me and be like, oh my gosh, I've come so far. And you realize that like every little thing that happened to you literally happened for a reason. And yes, it sucks so bad in the moment, but you're gonna get through it. Like just keep going.
I have a light question for you. So, if you
Okay.
could take yourself on a solo vacation with no responsibilities, no guilt, okay, no mom guilt involved, what does it look like?
Oh girl, I'm going to the Fifi Islands in Thailand.
Oh, yes. What are you doing? Are you like sitting on the beach all day?
Yes, yes, and then I would take those little boats like,
Oh,
through, like the rocks in the
yes.
water that have like the little.
Stop. Yes.
Yes, and then I'd swim with sharks
Mm-hmm.
and the dolphins. Oh yeah, that's where I'm going for like 2 weeks. If
I
I
love
can
it.
do it.
2 weeks. I love it. It sounds really thought out.
It is. It's on my bucket list. And I always tell myself if it wasn't for Charlie Ray, now that I'm like God, like I have Charlie Ray, but if I
Yeah.
didn't and I'm single now at 35, I would go and just work at like a tiki bar.
Oh my, tell me why my 15-year-old was telling me, why didn't no one tell me that like a real job could be growing up and living on an island like selling coconuts? And I was like, that is not a real job. But then I stopped myself and I thought, why not? What a cool life. Like you don't
Those are
need
the
a lot.
happiest people.
Right.
They have no
I'm trying to
cares.
do that.
Yes, I will live in a tiki hut and work in a tiki hut. Thailand is definitely my dream vacation. So I'd
Oh,
love like Italy since I'm Italian or I have Italian in me, but Thailand takes the cake.
yeah.
Yeah. Fifi Island. You need to Google it. It's actually really cheap once you get there. I've looked it up.
That's same.
Yeah, so once you get to Thailand, you can find Airbnbs for like $200 a night. Like it's really cheap. It's just getting there that's expensive, and the flights are so long. You definitely have to do first class because I think it's like a 19-hour flight or
Yes,
something like
when
that.
I looked at one, I was like, "Oh, well, that price isn't bad." And then I looked and it was economy, and then I looked at how long it was, and I was like, "I
Uh-uh.
am not going until I can go first class
I'm
because I'm
going full
not
send.
fixing to sit in those seats for 19 hours. Are you insane?"
Yeah, no, because I'm one of those. I can't even travel in a car over like 4 hours before I start getting like, let me out this
Climbing the
car.
walls,
Yeah,
and like, it's like, "Oh, we'll pull over and like eat
no,
or go pee." I'm like, "No,
no.
I'm done.
I want to get
I'm
there.
not getting back in that car."
If you get me out, I'm not getting back in.
So true.
This is where we will stay.
You will chase me around this parking lot, around
The
this
Motel
Bucky's parking
6.
lot. I hate Bucky's. I don't even know why I said that. I hate them.
You know what? I was just talking to a friend of mine the other day because they were on the way to the beach and they had stopped. And I was like, I think it's like an overrated gas station. Like, it's so overrated to me. Like,
It.
people love it. And I'm like, I ain't trying to shop for home decor when I'm
Thank
already
you.
when I'm in the car for 5 hours. No,
And
let's just.
have you seen their snack selection? Like
Yeah.
there's like every kind of cheese it, right? But
Yeah.
then there's like cheddar cheese. Maybe you just want original. There are two like little rows of cheddar cheese. Two rows. This is consumer city. Like it creeps me out. I don't even have words. Why are there so many gas pumps?
It's like, why is this so big? Like, and then apparently there's a Sparky's too. It's like a redneck version of a
No.
Buc-ee's. Google it. They have bedazzled.
Stop it. That word alone is like, nope.
They were telling me they have like bedazzled hermit crabs. They're like bedazzled, and you can buy them.
Mm-mm.
And then there's fireworks, cherry bombs, and
No.
yeah, it's like a redneck version of Bucky. Just Google it, because when they told me they were stopping there, I was like, let me Google this, and I was like, it's literally a flea market.
That's disgusting.
They said there was like a whole wall of like accessories for these hermit crabs that you can just buy, and like accessories to put in their tanks and stuff.
And you know, people are paying like $50 for these hermit crabs that you can like go find on the beach. Where you're vacationing, your vacation, go get one for free. Go to Walmart and buy some jewels
But Rachel,
and
these
some
are
glue.
bedazzled.
Oh yeah, my bad. Like, I'm not gonna lie. If you invited me to a party where we like bedazzled a jean jacket, I'm there.
Oh, so yeah,
Or
Charlie
like,
Ray would
oh,
love a
do you
bedazzled
remember
hermit.
that like clip thing for your hair where you could like
Yes,
bedazzle your hair?
yes.
I'll
Do
bedazzle
you know
my
the
hair.
feathers?
Stop. Wait. I
I
have
think
the
they're
most
coming back.
no, come on.
I've seen
I have
like
a
the
really
oil.
embarrassing story. My first day of junior high. Do you remember the fake hair scrunchies that you like? So get
Don't
this.
like this.
Oh, no, it was so bad. So I put my hair in a ponytail and I put this thing around it. I didn't even try to make it a bun or make it blend. I just had like a ponytail with like hair around it. But then, oh Lord, I got chopsticks from like Claire's that were like
Yep.
glittery. Girl, I stuck them in there like this.
That was full on 90.
Well, thank you for being here.
Oh, I enjoyed it. I just loved seeing
Me
your
too.
face.
Right? I know I was thinking before we hopped on the call, I was like, this is going to make me want to like take a trip to Georgia.
I can see you. That's what we need to do, because I need beach in my life, and I'll
Oh,
just be
girl, it's
saving
so
you.
perfect right now.
Yeah, I'm just joking.
Right.
Well, it was so good seeing you, and
Yeah,
thank you for
same.
having me. I enjoyed it so
Of
much.
course. Thank you so much for showing up with your honesty and your heart. And I know there's a woman out there listening right now, maybe driving or folding laundry, that has also felt low. And your story is a reminder that she is not alone. And to that woman, you don't have to shrink. You don't have to earn your place. You are allowed to change your mind. Heal at your pace and speak up, even if your voice shakes. If this episode spoke to you, would you do me a favor and share it with a friend who may also need to hear? We'll be here next Sunday with more stories. And remember, no pedestal needed. You are already enough.